we have an Ayurveda workshop coming up on Saturday, April 13th from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. And we just wanted to share a little bit of information about what Ayurveda is and how we plan to teach on it for this workshop. So Jill is our presenter, and I'd like to just start by asking what brought you to enjoy Ayurveda and want to study it more.
Okay, so how I came to it was here when we had our workshop with Christine, and Wilda and I both were talking about our bellies, and the first thing she, right, well, that's, whatever, there it is. And the first thing she said was, do you drink ice water? And now Wilda and I both were like, oh yeah, we drink ice water all the time. She was like, yeah, we'll stop. Don't do that. Drink warm water or room temperature water and everything that you drink. So I immediately stopped with the ice, started drinking room temperature or warm, and like literally within a week, I noticed a difference in the bloating kind of thing. And so that just made me want to learn more and more, which kind of leads us into what we're going to be talking about is some daily routines. So that was the next thing I did. I started looking more into daily routines for my dosha, which we'll talk about, of course, in the workshop. And when I kind of started following that, and not 100%, like I didn't dive in head first, but I really noticed a difference in how I felt in my body and in my heart and in my mind, and all of that.
So you mentioned a word there, dosha. So dosha is, we're all comprised of elemental matter, right? And there's earth, water, air, ether,
Earth. No, you said earth.
Earth, water. So we're all comprised of elemental matter. Perfect.
Which was the most important one in Ayurveda, of course.
So we've got earth, water, ether, air, and fire.
Correct.
And depending on how these elements show up in your personal constitution, you might be one of three doshas. So we have kapha, pitta, and vata. So kapha being earth and water, pitta being fire
and water,
and then vata being vata, air and ether. So you'll hear those words throughout the workshop, but there then kind of leads into daily routines, which you also mentioned. So based off of your constitution, maybe it makes more sense for you to do things at 6 o'clock in the morning versus 10 o'clock in the morning, or whatever that might be. So can you just, without going into too much crazy detail, let us know a little bit about how these routines, outside of drinking not freezing cold ice water, might affect what we are feeling health-wise in our body?
Yes. So there's time periods, there's 12 of them, and each of them has, 12? 8, 12.
Well, 6, because there's 3 and then each one has
2. Oh yeah, that's
2.
right, 3, 6. So each time period also has energy of the elements, which creates, so each one has a dosha. So say from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is a kapha. So this is the time of day where you want to get up and get moving and get that, because that kapha energy will kind of make you feel slothful. And then the next one is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that's pitta. And this is a time of day where you might want to get your most work in, your mental work done. And then the next one would be 2 p.m. to 6 6 p.m., and that's Vata, and this is going to be the time where you want to start kind of planning your next day and working on those sorts of things, your brain work, and then you move right back in from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is Kapha time once again, and this is the time where you really want to be moving yourself toward bedtime and being asleep by 10, and then 10 to 2 a.m. again is Pitta, and then we can move back into the Vata. So just periods of time when you should be awake and eat, and based on your dosha and the time frame.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, and I like to say often here to our students and our community, we as humans try to live outside of the natural bounds.
Yes.
We like to have light at 2 o'clock in the morning when there's not supposed to be natural light. We like to do things on our time and on our schedule, but there is a lot of opportunity that if we pay attention to the natural timing and schedule of everything that's going on around us, we could create a scenario where we are feeling more healthy in our minds and our bodies and our spirits and our hearts, and also we might notice that we become our more productive and best selves. And so that is what we are hoping to share with you on Saturday, April 13th, is just give you that basic knowledge of how the system of Ayurveda works, how it might relate to you as an individual based off of your constitution, and then introducing that Ayurvedic clock where it kind of times everything according to what elements are primed in each segment of the daily clock.
And the same is true in talking about nature. It also goes into the seasons. So there's different seasonal routines as well, like eating the food that is in season rather than those sorts of things. For instance, during the winter we want to be more insightful and and restful, and maybe our yoga practices are a little less invigorating during that time. So we just kind of copy the nature because we seem to think that we are not part of nature, but really we just are.
We are.
And just like any other living, breathing thing on earth.
Yes.
So when we try to fight against that, we suffer it. Yes, we suffer, whether it's physical or mental, whatever it is. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jill, for taking a few minutes and chatting with me. We hope to see you on Saturday, April 13th.
Yes.
Members, this may be a class that is included in your membership as an add-on. If you don't have add-ons available to you, it's $30 for members. And for folks that are not yet members, we've got 2 great options for you. Start a trial month and take advantage of that membership discount, or it's a $50 registration if you don't want to become a member before joining the Ayurveda workshop. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So just invite, if you have never heard of Ayurveda before, if maybe you've just heard the word and don't know really the ins and outs, just come and learn. That little spark is all it took. And I'm telling you, it is just a revelation. And if you have heard of it, if you know all the things, come and share those things and share your experiences with us and everybody else so we can learn from one another.